We are going live. I'm going to get my other camera going. And is it 6:15? I think it's time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kelly Kitchen. We're going to have some food and some health and some fun. We have some really yummy things on tap for tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody to cook for except myself. So I am going to make a super easy taco pie, and I'm going to give it to my mom because they love it. And, you know, it's kind of nice to just hand over an already made meal. So we are actually going to start with, because I need to rotate the oven, I have a very small oven, and I want my butter rum bundt cakes to, hi Atsuko. We are going to do the taco pie first. We're going to get that into the oven. And while that's doing its thing in the oven, we are going to get working on our butter rum cakes. And we're going to do those in a little mini bundt pan, in a little bundt pan. I'll tell you more about this later. And then I'm going to just show you my super easy, but my most favorite and the best guacamole I have a little secret ingredient that everyone has in their pantry. And I would have never thought to use this, but anyways, I'm going to show you how it's all done. So we're going to get busy. We're going to get started on the easy taco pie. And we're huge fans of, hi Kelly, hi Donna, how are you? Julie, everybody. We are super huge fans of taco night at our house, but we have tacos a bazillion different ways. And so this is just another way to have tacos. It's kind of like a cross between tacos and a quiche, I guess. But it's great because you can make it and then you can freeze it save it in batches, and it's great as leftovers. So I just have a pound of ground beef that I'm going to brown up here in my pan. We're going to break that up. Then we're going to mix it with some eggs and some cream and some seasonings and stuff like that. So it's a pretty easy weeknight meal, and I always have all of these ingredients mostly in my pantry. And the thing about it is that after it's done, then you add the fresh stuff. So if you make it as and have it for leftovers, you can add fresh tomatoes and fresh cilantro and sour cream on top and stuff like that. So we're going to brown a pound of ground beef. And in the meantime, I just wanted to show you, I already got the butter rum cakes started. I don't know if you can see that. I'm making half a batch because I haven't fully perfected, I've perfected the taste of these butter rum bundt cakes, but I haven't perfected how to get one recipe into one cake pan. So I started out and I had way too much batter, and then I made it again and I had way too little batter. So I have the recipe, so if you want it, I'll send it to you, but I'm just perfecting how much of it to make. So tonight we're making a half of a batch, so that we can I can see if it'll fit in my bundt cake. So anyways, I wanted to tell you part of that recipe is, and the way that you get a really great flavor for your butter rum cakes is you brown the butter. And that usually takes about 7 to 10 minutes on the stovetop. Super easy. You just let it melt there, and then you kind of let it simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes. And then once you are done with that, you let it cool down, and then we're going to add that to our almond flour and our cake, all of our cake stuff, eggs and stuff like that. Let's see who came to visit me. Oh, yes, I will. I'll definitely post the recipe. I have it ready. And I can give it to you, but I just want to condense it so that it works in the Bundt pan or whatever. It also uses just a little bit of rum, dark rum, and if you don't want to use alcohol, because you really only use 2 tablespoons of this, if you don't want to use alcohol, you can use rum extract, and that will work just fine. Use a teaspoon of that, and it'll still give you that rum flavor. So butter rum is, for me, it's like a really great memory for the holidays. And so I just was sort of thinking I know we're still in the pumpkin spice season, but I'm starting to think about Christmas and Christmas recipes. And so anyways, that's how I was sort of thinking about Bundt cakes. And this is browning up very nicely. So while that's browning, I have 6 eggs. I know it sounds like a lot, but I have 6 eggs that I'm just going to whip together in this large bowl. I'll add a cup of cream to this and some other seasonings. We're going to put our taco seasoning into the meat, and it comes together super easy. I'm going to do this a little double fisted. We'll get this round up. So what's been going on? It's kind of been a little quiet for me. I've been behind the scenes working on a ton of recipes. I know I haven't really posted a whole lot, but that doesn't mean I'm not busy. I got some serious stuff going on. Okay, so there's our eggs. Those are nice and whipped. I'm going to add a cup of cream to the eggs, and this is very similar to a quiche where I do eggs and cream together. I'm going to use a 9.5-inch pie dish. Normally, I would use just a regular 9-inch pie dish, but I got this really cute, nice pie dish, and it's 9.5 inches, so it might not be as full, but I'm gonna give that for my mom. She can have that. So we're gonna mix the eggs and the cream together, and we'll add some cheese to this. That's nice and mixed together. I like to use taco seasoning that you get, just the Lowry's or McCormick's or whatever. A lot of those contain like cornstarch and fillers. I think they do that to thicken the meat. To thicken the sauce. Quite frankly, you don't need that at all. But this is a brand that I love to get. I know you can't see it because it's backwards, but it's called Primal Palette. And I just get this online, and I get the jumbo pack, and I'll add 2 to 3 tablespoons of the taco seasoning to my my ground beef. I'll see how 2 goes. There's 1. There is 2. We'll get that mixed up. I think 2 might be enough. It really kind of just depends. The other brand that I really like of taco seasoning is Trader Joe's. They have a really great taco seasoning. It doesn't have any fillers in it. It doesn't have any added carbs. The only thing about the Trader Joe's taco seasoning, and I really like spicy food, but it has a kick to it. So you have to be careful. Because it'll zap you big time. I'm not kidding you. Or just use half of the Trader Joe's. Okay, so our taco meat is nice and cooked, super easy. Anybody can do that. I'm gonna just sit that off to the side while I finish. So I've got my cup of cream and my 6 eggs in here. And then, I just got some taco seasoning in my throat. I'm going to add, I'm not going to do that yet. What am I going to do? Okay, so we are going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, probably like a half a teaspoon of pepper, and That's about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. We'll mix that together. And then I like to add, actually like to add raw garlic to the mixture. And I'll do 2 cloves, which is just like 2 teaspoons of this. And again, this is my, my kind of go-to garlic. You can use fresh garlic for sure. But this is just, you get this in your produce aisle. It's called Garden Gourmet, and they have all different herbs that you can get. So I'll just add 2 cloves of garlic to my egg mixture, and we'll get that going. This comes together so fast, you're not even going to believe it. I'm going to wash these, guys, because we're going to use these again for the butter rum cake in just a second. So I've got just my regular old Mexican shredded cheese. We are going to take our taco meat out. I'm going to put this right in my pie dish. Now, again, this is a 9.5-inch dish. I think I'm going to be okay. So you can see I've completely covered the bottom of the pan. Not too hot. I completely covered the bottom of the pan. And you know what I'm going to do just to protect myself from spilling anything? I'm going to put this right on top of my, on a cookie sheet, because I'm going to transfer that into the oven. Okay, so I did my cream. I did all of my seasonings. I am now going to pour my egg and cream mixture with the seasoning, with the salt and the pepper in it. And we're just going to pour that right on top. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. I think my parents are going to get this with 1 less slice. Shh, that'll be my dinner tonight. Don't tell them. Actually, they won't care. They'll think it's funny. Okay, so now we're going to add a cup of cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna, let's see, I'm just gonna use my hand because I can kind of, that's about a half of a cup. We're gonna sprinkle that on there. Kids love this, and it's great to have for dinner. You can serve it with a big garden salad. You guys, that is kind of it. It's super easy. Okay, so we're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes, and then we'll get started on all of our other stuff. Can you guys see how pretty this is? Let's show you how pretty this is. So this is going to come out, and it's going to be like all bubbly and delicious. So we'll get that in there, into the oven. Oh dear. You know, I am going to talk a little bit about avocado management again, because I started thinking about how we eat avocados. And okay, 30 minutes. We'll keep an eye on that while we're doing everything else. I'm going to put it in for 25, because then I'll check on it. Avocado management is a real thing in our house, and I just want to touch more on it, but I'll touch more on it when we start making the best guacamole ever. And no, I don't add like orange juice or tequila to it. Let's get started on the butter rum cakes. I need to, let's get this out of the way, this out of the way. I'm just going to rinse these out. Because I don't want garlic on my butter rum cakes. The butter rum cakes kind of, I sent those off to Peter's office today just to test her. And they got rave reviews. They're great for like a morning with your coffee, or an afternoon or something like that. So we're going to do 4 eggs in here. I already mixed up the mixture, but I'll tell you what's in here in a second. So I've got my 4 eggs. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I've always been a little reluctant to do anything in a Bundt pan. I've been scarred because I absolutely hate putting a ton of work into a dessert and all the money it costs. The ingredients are not cheap, and I absolutely despise when the Bundt cake sticks to the pan. So I knew that because this cake is so full of butter that it probably would be okay. I'm just gonna whip these up and then I'll keep going. So I went to Williams-Sonoma. They were having a sale this past week, or maybe a week and a half ago, and this brand of Bundt cake, it's called Nordic Ware. It's super heavy. It's gold. It comes in gold or silver. I just thought the gold was really pretty. But the Bundt cakes like literally fall out of here, and they're so pretty and cute. So I'm now a fan, and I'll be making Bundt cakes all the time. So it's super heavy. I tried to make these in a muffin tin, and they did not work. I wanted to do muffin tins because everybody's got a muffin tin. Not everybody has a Bundt cake, but you really can't do it in a muffin tin. I have not had any luck. You could do it in a single Bundt cake, and that would be fine. Single Bundt cake or mini Bundt cake is going to work for you. Okay, so my eggs are nice and frothy. See how they're nice and fluffy? Those are just whole eggs. I already mixed together, you know how they kind of talk about like, oh, sift in your flours and, do it in stages. I get kind of lazy and I just dump it all in. And so in this cup here, in this thing here, I have my almond flour, my coconut flour, my baking soda, my baking powder. What else do I have in here? Salt. That's it. Okay. So I already mixed all of these together, and just to make sure I don't have any lumpiness, because almond flour because it has a little bit of moisture in it. I just like to, kind of mash it on the edges of the measuring cup and kind of mix it together a little bit so it is, semi-sifted. You would never want to bite into like a chunk of baking soda or baking powder. But anyway, so I got that all sifted together, got most of the lumps out. Don't worry, I'll get all the lumps out when I whisk it in the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just pour that all right in, just dump it right in. Use my whisk, my hand mixer. We'll mix that all together. That looks fantastic. Now we'll add a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of rum, and a little bit of sour cream. And it really comes together super easy. We're gonna do a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I usually just eyeball this, but I'm being super good right now. We're gonna do, because I'm having the recipe right now in my head, I'm going to do 1/8 of a cup of sour cream. And then I'm going to do 1/8 of a cup of my Myers dark rum. Now, I'm not a huge rum person, but there's something about the butter and the rum and the almond cake, and it actually does taste, it smells pretty good. It kind of reminds me of going to the Bahamas. I know all my East Coast people, it's getting cold there, and you guys are starting to plan your Bahama trips. Okay, so I'm going to do 1/8 of a cup of the dark rum. I'm going to just make sure I close that up. Oh, shoot! I totally forgot. Okay, we're going to, see, this is what happens when you're on live TV. I forgot. I wanted to add olives to my taco pie. So really quickly, don't tell anybody I forgot to do this. I am going to very quickly, it still is it still is softer. So I'm just going to add, this is 4 ounces of olives. We're just going to mix those right in there. Honestly, like, this is real life. This is what happens. I'm going to mix those in there, and it is going to be all just fine. It's going to add lots of nice flavor. And see, nobody even knew. Okay, I'm going to continue mixing the butter rum cake batter. And I cannot forget my brown butter. Okay, so this is nice and cool now. I don't know if you can see. It's super brown and nutty flavor. I had to use some of my Kerrygold butter that I got on sale. I got like a pallet of it. Don't tell Peter. Actually, he knows. We love it. There's just such a great quality to Kerrygold butter. It's pretty expensive, but it's worth it. And so, anyways, I'm going to keep this pot up here because for the glaze, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of butter and just a tiny bit more of rum, and that goes on after we pull these out of the oven, because we let them soak in the in like a little rum butter mixture. Okay, so I'm kind of messy. So I've got my brown butter coming together so nicely. And you know what happened? The baking soda and the baking powder, they start having like, they're I don't know how to explain it, but they start foaming a little bit, and so they give the batter a really nice thickness. It kind of starts thickening up. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way. We'll get all of these out of the way. I'm going to leave this here because I need that cup right now. So here's the thing about this. I've already made these a couple times, and I used to fill them all the way to the top. And what happens when you fill them all the way to the top, I'll give you a little sneak peek. These are ones I made last night. I know, I'm cuckoo. I'm cooking all the time. So this is one that I made last night. Isn't that so pretty? So pretty. I did not soak this with the stuff yet, but look at how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? But you're supposed to have a hole there, and it's supposed to be open there. And if you can tell, it went over, so it almost has like a muffin top. So I filled my container full, and I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to do about 3/4 of the way full. I love using my, I don't use my ice cream scooper much for ice cream, so I love using it for other stuff. So I'll put maybe I kind of get it around. Get this out of the way so you guys can see. So I'm going to just very gently go around the cake, the little bundt thing. And after I get a little bit in each one, then I will tap these down. And I'll make sure that it gets into all the crevices of the bundt cake. My friend from high school, she owned Nothing Bundt Cakes for a little while here in Santa Monica, and I don't think she owns it anymore, but I love their bundt cakes. But unfortunately, they are just so full of sugar, I just can't even handle it. So I think I'm gonna get all 6 in this. If I don't, then no, probably not. Probably just 5. So this is why I need to redo the recipe for you guys so that you can get exact amounts. So I'm still at the drawing board on this, but that's okay. This is coming together very nicely, and these will be perfect just the way they are. And we'll go like that, we'll go like that, and There we go. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, but the cake batter is a little bit lumpy. So what I'm going to do, watch your ears here, girls and boys. We're just going to tap those down. And they are, can you see that? They're about a third, 2/3 of the way full. And as soon as our taco pie is done, I'm going to pop these into the oven for 15 minutes. But our taco pie is not done. I'm going to put the cheese and the cream away because we're done with those. The taco pie has about 15 to 20 more minutes. And I might even just put these cakes on the bottom. Let's get busy. Oh, our butter is nice and melted. We're going to pull that off of the heat. And we're just going to add a tablespoon of our rum again. We'll add a tablespoon of rum. I lost my tablespoon thing, so we're just going to eyeball it. And we'll just mix that together. That's about a tablespoon. Don't worry, it won't get you drunk, I promise. We'll mix that together. That'll come together very nicely. So this is what they're going to look like when they come out. So we will get to that when that comes out. I wanted to make mention, I use Lily's baking chocolates. These have 0 carbs. And they just changed the packaging, so they might look a little bit different. But up until this point, Lily's baking chips, they weren't called semi-sweet, they were called just baking chips. They did have like a tiny bit of carbs in them, but they redid their formulas, and so now they have semi-sweet. And when you deduct the fiber and the sugar alcohols, these end up being 0 carbs. I ended up seeing these at a supermarket on sale. I was like, I'll take the whole box. I took like 12 or 15 of them. And they were on sale, so they were only $5.50 for a bag. Normally, you can get these online at Amazon, I think for like $8. They're pretty expensive. And again, we don't eat sweets all the time, but I'm super happy to see that Lily's redid their formula. I think there's a lot of low carb and keto friendly companies that are really like stepping up and offering stuff. So I have, I don't know if you can see in the back there, I have a box of like 12 bags of these. So we're gonna have lots of fun making some chocolate stuff. I've got some chocolate peppermint stuff coming up. I made chocolate fudge with roasted pecans this past week. It was really delicious. I have to finalize that recipe. And I tried to do a white chocolate peppermint fudge. It didn't totally turn out, but it's coming. It may come together. We'll see. Let's take a look at our taco pie, and then I'm going to get started on the guacamole. And I'm in a little bit of a quandary because I don't have anybody to cook for tonight, but I told you guys we were doing guacamole. So I'm going to make the guacamole, and then I'm going to show you how I would preserve the guacamole if I wasn't going to eat it until tomorrow, which I know seems kind of weird because you really need to eat avocados and guacamole like as soon as you make them or else they start browning. But I'll show you what I do. Okay, so where are my avocados? Here we go. I have got 3 perfectly ripe avocados. I never buy avocados when they're ripe. I buy them when they are rock hard and bright green. And then because I'm at the supermarket at least twice a week, I will assess my avocados. And if I need to buy more, I only buy them when they are rock hard because I want to control how quickly they ripen. And as soon as, when I have them all together in the sun in a basket over there, they all start to ripen. And sometimes I will separate them because they have some sort of a chemical that starts them ripening together. When they start to get to the point where I need to eat them, I put them in the refrigerator. because then I can control the ripening even more. And I can make avocados last for an entire week. And I would say occasionally I'll get a bad one or we won't get to it soon enough, but we really do eat avocados every day. So I'm constantly managing them, and you know, I'll add them to our lunches and our salads. Okay, let me grab my other mixing bowl. And I used to live in Connecticut. Woohoo, Richfield! I used to live in Connecticut, and there was this great Mexican restaurant that we would have to drive like 30 minutes to get to, and there weren't a whole lot of Mexican restaurants to go to, much more here in Southern California. And once, you know, they make the guacamole tableside, and one time the guy squirts in this like clear liquid, and I was like, what is that? And he said it's jalapeno vinegar. And I was like, where do you get that? And he was like, oh, you can just get it at the store. You can't get jalapeno vinegar at the store. You got to make it. But what I found out is that it really wasn't jalapeno vinegar. It was just plain vinegar, plain white vinegar. And when you add plain white vinegar, it gives you a little bit of a tang, and it helps keep the avocado from turning brown. So I lucked out. I got 2 avocados that are just perfectly ripe. And then I got one that isn't so perfect, but I'm going to cut those little parts out. And don't be discouraged. I mean, you can't have perfect avocados every single time, but you can. So what I like to do is I like to slice them all first, and then I take the seed out like that. I take all the seeds out. See how I did that? Now I got all the seeds there. So I don't have to keep running back and forth to my garbage. And I just like to do a nice, like a dice. And so you go all the way down to the skin very carefully. I mean, I don't want you guys slicing your hand down the center. That would be really awful. But I've been doing this. I've done this all my life. My grandfather has avocado trees that he nurtured that are right outside my door here. Unfortunately, it doesn't give tons of avocados all the time, but sometimes I'll get a gift from the gods, and I'll get a huge avocado will just drop down on the ground in front of me. Okay, so I'm doing all my slicing of all my avocados. My taco pie probably needs about 10 more minutes, maybe 15 more minutes. And I'm just going to take my, right off. Who came to visit me? Hi, Heidi. And then I am just going to plop all this right into here. Now, you can be super lazy and just add a tablespoon of salsa and a tablespoon of sour cream with salt and pepper and a little bit of vinegar, and you can call that some pretty darn good guacamole. But I like to add chopped cilantro, chopped red onion, and chopped tomatoes with my vinegar, and I just use plain white vinegar. Do you see how I picked apart from the brown stuff? Yeah, I don't want the brown stuff in there. Okay. I'm also going to show you, my kids got me for Mother's Day 100 years ago, a lava rock that's super cool. And I'll show you that later because I like to serve guacamole in it because it kind of feels authentic. But I'm just going to chop this up a little bit. Let's get our tomato, cilantro, and red onion. Now, the thing about the tomato, what you're going to do is you're going to scoop out the wet part because you don't want your guacamole to be runny. So do you see all these seeds in here? I just take my finger and I just scoop it right out, and I just have only the meat of the tomato and that's what I use in my guacamole. That keeps it from getting runny and kind of soupy. And you really don't need those seeds anyways. We're going to take those out. So I had 3 small avocados there, and one, I'd call that like a medium size tomato. I don't have any exact measurements of this. I will put something together for the website so that you can, but it's really your preference. I know people who, they don't like tomatoes, but they like salsa. So sometimes I'll add the salsa instead of the tomatoes into the guac. And some people are a little sensitive to raw onions. So again, I'll kind of add those or not add those. One way to get rid of the bite of red onions, you slice them and then you let them soak in ice water for a few minutes. And then you pull them out and dry them off, and it takes the bite out of them. It's like helps with the juice. Okay, so I diced up my tomato, the meat of the tomatoes. I'm going to put that right inside. I'm also going to add, where is it? I like a little heat. So I'm going to add a jalapeno. So one of the things you do with this is, if you don't want it too hot, you got to take all the seeds out. And because other people are going to be eating this, I am going to take all of the seeds out because the jalapeno really does give it a nice flavor. So we'll put that in. And then the cilantro. Some people also don't like cilantro. They say it tastes like soap to them. I mean, I would probably die without cilantro, but I love it. So we're just going to slice up our jalapeno, nice and small, like a really small dice, because nobody wants to get like a big hunk of jalapeno in their guac. Now, we don't typically eat chips on low carb and keto, so I like to serve this like as a big dollop on top of my taco pie. And then I also eat it with like celery sticks and just kind of like by the spoon. Okay, so this is probably like 2 tablespoons, and I'm gonna only use half of that because I know somebody else will not like that. We'll put that to the side. We're gonna do. This is the vinegar that I use. It's like just basic white vinegar. And you just do like a splash of this. Let's see who's watching me. So we're just going to do a splash of the vinegar. It's probably like less than a tablespoon. We're going to do a teaspoon of salt. We're going to do a couple cracks of pepper. And then, you know what that is? That's my taco pie. Let's see if it's ready. Oh, it's getting there. It needs probably 10 more minutes. We'll get that in there. I wish I could put the other things in there. My oven isn't large enough. I'm so sorry. You know what I might try to do? I don't think that'll fit there. That might fit there. Let me see. We're just going to make this work. Can you just even imagine what I do on Thanksgiving? It's quite an ordeal, the juggling that I have to do to get everything to fit. Okay, this is what we're doing. I put the rack on the top thing, and I'm just going to put my mini Bundt cakes in there. We're going to just get those going. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but we're at DEFCON 5 here. We need to get dinner done and send you guys on your way. We are going to add some cilantro and some red onion to this guac. I'm I'm only going to use just like, I just cut right the top off. And I'm going to finely chop that. If you're going to serve the taco pie, you chop up more cilantro, more tomato, and then you just have those as toppings for the taco pie. I like to serve that taco pie with like a big garden salad, or even like a Caesar salad, or just by itself. Okay, so there is our cilantro. That's probably like 2 tablespoons. And we'll do a little bit of red onion. This is a very chunky, it's a very chunky guacamole, and it's sort of the cheater way also to stretch your avocados. If you don't have a ton of avocados, you can add sour cream to this. You can add just more vegetables because it really makes the avocado stretch a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit of red onion. I'm going to dice it very, very thinly. And we'll get that into the guac. I can eat this guacamole like by the spoonful. That's how much I love it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. I like to do nice, tiny little slices because this helps me dice my onion kind of in, let me show you. So if you can see how I diced it like I sliced it like a million times there. So it's already almost completely diced. So then I just do little slices and then it comes out. And you know what I'll do? Sometimes, I'm not going to do this tonight, but sometimes I'll dice the entire thing and then I'll keep it in a Ziploc bag so that I can add it to salads the next day. And then I only have to really dice it once. I'm going to just chop that up just a tiny bit more. Again, nobody likes to have a big chunk of onion except me and Peter. And we'll get that into our guacamole. That's probably like 2 tablespoons. And I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. We got our butter nice and melted. Okay, here we go. Oh, this looks fantastic. This is some super chunky guacamole. And I'm going to have like a big dollop of this. I got to take a picture of this pie before the recipe for the taco pie is on the website. So I was able to get that up. I don't have a ton of pictures, but I wanted to get that up there so you guys could see that. And I will get the butter rum Bundt cakes up there very soon. They might just go into the cookbook, and then you would have to wait. But if you really wanted it, I will happily give that to you. And we're gonna this is coming together really beautifully. So let's do a little taste of this baby. Let's just get it. It has like this perfect tang with all of the flavors are coming together so beautifully. Okay, we're gonna put this into this little bowl here, and I want to show you what I do. I'm gonna have some of this for dinner tonight, but I want to show you what I do to make sure that it doesn't get totally brown. I don't know of a real way. I mean, you can douse it in lemon juice, but then your whole thing tastes like lemon juice. So let me just show you what I do. I take saran. I'll just take a little sheet of saran wrap. And I like to, how are we doing on time? Oh my God, perfect timing. I like to take a little sheet of this very carefully, and I put that right on top and I smash it right into it. So you're covering all of the areas that are exposed to air. And this is how I will store my guacamole. Can you see how I did that? See how I did that? And then tomorrow, when I take this out of the fridge, it might brown just a tiny bit, but you can pull this off and then just scrape the top layer of the whatever's brown and pull that off and then just throw that away. It tastes the same, actually. It really does, I promise you. But it's not pleasing to the eye, so we don't really like that. I'm going to heat up my butter rum. My butter and my rum just a tiny bit because this is super high quality butter. So the milk particles are kind of separating, and so I'm going to melt them again. Because when the Bundt cakes come out, we're going to drizzle this on top. I kind of have to taste this too. Oh, you know what? I might need to add some stevia to this. Yes, I'm going to add a couple drops of stevia. Here's one thing that I want to tell you guys about. I get this question all the time about, can I use stevia instead of monk fruit, or can I use something else in front? So stevia is an extract, just like vanilla extract, or you just need a tiny, tiny bit to get the sweetness. But in order to make cakes and bake, you need the bulk of the sugar. But the bulk of the sugar alcohols, it doesn't have the sweetness that real sugar has, and it also has a little bit of a cooling effect on your mouth. So you want to cut it with stevia or monk fruit. And when you see a container like this, it says monk fruit sweetener, but very small right underneath here. It says with erythritol. So this is the bulk of this bag. It's erythritol, and then they sprinkle monk fruit on it. That's how they get this blend. So this is not all monk fruit. Monk fruit is super, super, super tiny. Oh, the brand of liquid stevia that I use, this is called Sweet Leaf, Sweet Drops. And you can get flavored stuff too. You can get vanilla flavor or butter flavor or whatever. I just use regular flavor. And I'm going to add like 5 drops of my liquid stevia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very potent. You just need a tiny bit of it. And I know that they sell the stevia extract in powder. Also, I have it. I've never used it. I always use the drop. So let me taste this now and see if it's sweet enough. I think it probably will. I hope so. Perfect. Just the right amount of sweetness, because our cakes are going to be sweet enough. And so, anyways, I'm going to have a little sip. It's starting to cool down here a little bit. This weekend it was like 80 degrees. There's my guacamole. I'm going to just put that to the side for the second. Let's check on my pie. My pie needs more time, but guess what? My butter rum cakes are coming together really, really, really nicely. What else can I tell you guys about? Oh, here's kind of a fun thing. Let me put this on for 5 more minutes. I love lemon stuff, and so I am going to be, it's not lemon season right now, but I am going to be making some recipes with this product. It's called True Lemon. It's just crystallized lemon. There are no carbs in it. There's no sugar in it. And 1 packet of this is the equivalent to a wedge of lemon. So I'm going to be making some lemon desserts. I'm going to test out some stuff. Lemon bars, lemon tarts, lemon cake, lemon, I don't even know. But these are super cool because you can add them to your water, to your iced tea, and they just give you lemon flavor because lemons right now are like, I don't know, at least $1 or $2 each, and they don't have a whole lot of juice in them. So anyways, it's called True Lemon, and I've never seen the plain True Lemon in the supermarket. But so I just get these online, and I think this is like 100 of them. Yeah, this is 100 packets, so this is gonna last me a long time. But they have, be careful if you find these in the supermarket because they usually carry the ones that have sugar in them. So anyway, so I'm gonna be working on that coming in the next couple of weeks, and I've got a gingerbread with a cream cheese frosting. That one is I've already done that one, but I think I used too much ginger because it was a little too spicy. So we will pull that one together. Anytime I put up a recipe, if you don't want to use the frosting or you don't want to use the toppings, that is completely fine. It actually saves you some carbs by doing that. So if you just wanted to have, the guacamole just by itself, you could do that too. Okay, I'm turning the butter off because that's nice and melted. Let me check our pie is looking really nice, and our cakes are looking really nice too. Let me just show you my cake one more time. I would really like to be able to show you my pie before my taco pie. I didn't really time things very well tonight, so I wish there was something else I could make, but I again, I don't have anybody to cook for tonight, so I don't want to overcook. Let me show you a few things that I made that are in my freezer, because that's always fun. So, did I show you my peanut butter and chocolate cookies? These are on the website, and I love these. These only have 4 ingredients, and I make them with and without chocolate. And the best way to have these is to freeze them, and then you pull them out of the freezer maybe like for a couple minutes and just let them sit on the counter, because then they're cold and chewy. And I'm not sure if I showed you this sweetener that I've used before. This company, actually, not this company, but a company that makes allulose called me. Allulose is another sugar alcohol. It's not alcohol, it's just a sugar alcohol. It's the way that we digest it. And I really like this product, except for when you make cookies with this, it doesn't harden. And when you make cookies with erythritol, cookies get too hard. So my peanut butter cookies are a blend of my allulose and my monk fruit erythritol sweetener. So we have to get a little creative in the kitchen, but that's what I'm here for, to help figure out all those calculations. And if you're allergic to almond flour, or if you're allergic to coconut flour, then you have to figure out some way to mix those together so that you get the rise of the cakes. But if you use too much coconut flour, it'll get too dry and crumbly. And sometimes if you use too much almond flour, then it's too moist. So anyways, it's always a good combination of the two of those that kind of come together. Let's see how my taco pie is doing. The buzzer's going to go off in like 2 minutes, or a minute, maybe less than a minute. And as soon as it goes off, there it is, my taco pie. I'm going to pull this baby out. Oh, okay, I don't want to get too excited because I might drop it. Hold on a second. Let me just close this because these are still cooking. My little mini Bundt cakes are still doing their thing. They need They're almost done too, you guys. This is so fantastic. Okay, look at my beauteous taco pie. There is my taco pie. And I'm going to let that cool. Perfect. Can you guys see that? So this will get sliced, and then what we'll do is I'll do a big dollop of guacamole and some sour cream and some more cilantro. And this is a great family night dinner, or also if you're having a bunch of people over for dinner. I just realized that I did not spray the pan, and this is glass, so it probably is going to stick, unfortunately. I did find this new olive oil spray that I like. It's pretty aggressive. You kind of have to stand back when you're spraying that, but I forgot to use it this time. Sorry. That's okay. Peter knows how to clean the dishes really well. So our taco pie is now done. Yay. And our butter rum cakes are going to need a few more minutes, but I think we're all done. Thank you so much for watching me in the Kelly Kitchen, on the Kelly Kitchen. Feel free to share this with people. I hope it helps. Feel free to comment and ask questions or give suggestions for next week. You can find me everywhere online, on all social at The Kelly Kitchen, thekellikitchen.com. And I'm so grateful that you all have watched, and I hope you get something out of this, and I will see you next week. It's turkey time next week. We're going to pull together something special. Not turkey, though. We're going to do probably stuff around the turkey. So you'll be sick of turkey by the end of next week. So I don't want to overwhelm you. But anyways, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next Monday night. Bye. Goodbye and goodbye. Yes, I do want to end.